Most people think being the smartest person in the room is a gift. But what if I told you it's also one of the loneliest places on Earth? Studies show that people with a high IQ are more likely to struggle with anxiety, insomnia, and social isolation than the average person, not less. And yet, they're the ones we envy, the ones we compare ourselves to, the ones we assume have it all figured out. Today, we're going inside the mind of someone with a genuinely high IQ, and what we find there might completely change how you see intelligence. Beat, music swells slightly.
So, regarding the recent
If this
changes
kind
to the
of deep
project timeline,
psychological
I was
insight is what you're here for, hit that like button right now and make sure you're subscribed. Because this channel exists to show you the parts of human psychology that most people never talk about. Let's get into it. 1. The paradox of the gifted mind. Imagine you're sitting in a room full of people laughing at a joke. You found intellectually shallow 3 seconds before the punchline landed. Or you're in a meeting, watching a problem unfold, and you already see the solution, but no one's listening yet. This is Tuesday for someone with a high IQ. Here, what the research actually tells us. IQ measures a very
Look at
specific
the
kind
wiring
of
in those
cognitive
bricks. This
horsepower,
place is completely
pattern
unsafe.
recognition,
I know, but look over
processing
there.
speed,
I think someone's watching
abstract
us from the
reasoning.
shadows.
And people who score exceptionally high on these measures don't just think faster, they think differently. Psychologist Kazimierz Dabrowski called it overexcitability, a heightened sensitivity to stimuli, ideas, and emotion that goes far beyond what most people experience. To
Look
a
at the
high IQ
wiring in those
mind,
bricks.
the world
This
isn't
place
just
is
louder,
completely
it's
unsafe.
deeper.
I know, but look
Every
over there. I
conversation
think
has a
someone's watching us
subtext.
from the shadows.
Every system has a flaw. Every idea has 3 implications the other person hasn't thought of yet. That sounds like a superpower, and sometimes it is. But it also means the brain never stops running. 2. The anxiety engine. Let's talk about something that almost never makes it into the conversation about genius. A 2015 study published in the journal Intelligence found that high IQ individuals were significantly more likely to suffer from anxiety disorders than those with average IQ. Another study from Pitzer College found a direct link between high verbal intelligence and the tendency to ruminate, to loop the same thoughts over and over, dissecting them from every angle. Why? Because a high IQ brain is a meaning-making machine. It's constantly scanning for threats, inconsistencies, and future problems. What feels like overthinking to the outside world is their cognitive default setting. They don't choose to worry. Their brain chooses it for them. Think about it this way. You know that friend who can't watch a movie without pointing out plot holes, who stress plans every vacation 3 months out, who replays conversations and thinks of 17 better responses after the fact. That's not neurosis. That's a brain that was built to anticipate outcomes, working exactly as designed. The catch: evolution didn't build that brain to also know how to rest. 3. The loneliness algorithm. Here's a hard truth about high intelligence. It creates an invisible wall between you and almost everyone else. Not because high IQ people are arrogant, though some are, but because genuine intellectual connection is rare. And when you've tasted it, small talk starts to feel like slow starvation. Psychologist Linda Silverman identified what she called the asynchronous development of gifted individuals. Their minds mature at a completely different rate than their emotional and social selves. A 12-year-old reading philosophy, but unable to navigate a school cafeteria. A 30-year-old CEO who still doesn't know how to ask for what they need in a relationship. High IQ people often report feeling like outsiders, not because they can't socialize, but because they can't stop analyzing it. Every interaction becomes a data point. Every silence gets interpreted. Every friendship passes through a mental filter that most people don't even know exists. And here's the darkest part. The smarter someone is, the better they are at pretending they're fine. They build social masks so convincing, so well-researched, that the people closest to them don't even see the isolation underneath. 4. How high IQ minds are wired differently. Let's go a level deeper, because what separates a high IQ mind isn't just processing speed, it's the architecture. Neuroscience research shows that high IQ brains have thicker cortical layers in regions linked to abstract reasoning, and critically, more efficient neural pathways. They don't always fire more, they fire smarter. Less energy, more output. But there's something even more fascinating. High IQ people tend to have a higher tolerance for cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of holding two conflicting ideas at the same time. Where most people rush to resolve contradiction, a high IQ mind sits with it, turns it over, finds the value in the tension. This is why so many gifted people seem indecisive to others. They're not stuck. They're still processing, holding a dozen variables in working memory that the average person has already rounded down to zero. And their relationship with boredom, it's almost clinical. Research from the University of Florida found that people high in cognitive ability experience deeper boredom more frequently because their minds constantly demand novelty, complexity, and challenge. Give a high IQ mind repetitive work, and you're not just wasting their talent, you're quietly breaking them. 5. The hidden HABOTS. So what does a high IQ life actually look like, day to day? It looks like staying up until 2 a.m. because a thought won't let go. It looks like a reading list that grows faster than it shrinks. It looks like the constant, restless pursuit of one more layer of understanding. In science, in people, in themselves. High IQ individuals tend to be intensely self-reflective, sometimes to a fault. They question their own motives, revisit past decisions, and often hold themselves to standards that would exhaust anyone else. They're drawn to complexity in art, in relationships, in work. Simple pleasures can feel oddly unsatisfying, like a meal that's technically fine but doesn't quite fill you. They're also, and this surprises people, more likely to embrace uncertainty and intellectual humility. Studies consistently show that true cognitive ability correlates with acknowledging what you don't know. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse. The smarter someone is, the more aware they are of the edges of their own understanding. And that awareness, it's exhausting, but it's also what makes them exceptional. The gift and the weight. Here, what I want you to take away from this. High intelligence isn't the clean, confident, effortless gift we imagine it to be. It comes wrapped in anxiety, isolation, relentless questioning, and a hunger that is almost impossible to satisfy. But it also comes with depth, with vision, with the rare, extraordinary ability to see what others can't, to hold complexity without flinching, to sit with the unknown and find something beautiful there. Whether you identify with everything we talked about today, or you're just starting to understand the high IQ people in your life, I hope this gave you something real. Because understanding how minds work, truly work, is how we build more compassion, for others and for ourselves. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you recognize any of these patterns in yourself or someone you know? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and some of your responses become future episodes. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to see it. And if you want to keep going deeper, the next video is right there waiting for you. I'll see you inside.